Hi everybody, my name is Pulkit Chavda, and in this video we'll be discussing the next problem of Codeforces round 636 div 3, which is D constant palindrome sum. So let me read the problem out to you guys. The problem says that we are given an array of n integers and n is even, it is guaranteed that n is even. All ai's do not exceed some integer k. So basically all of the ai values are between 1 and k and they are integral. Our task is to replace the minimum number of elements, where a replacement means changing an element to some another number between 1 and k, in the range 1 and k, uh, in the range 1 to k, sorry, to satisfy the following conditions. After all replacements, all the ai values are positive integers not greater than k, right? And for all I from 1 to n by 2, basically the first half, the following equation is true: ai plus a of n minus I plus 1 equals to x, where x should be same for all n by 2 pairs of elements. So okay, I'll explain it to you in a better way after reading the full problem. Anyway, you can pause and read it again if something is still unclear. The first line contains t, which is the number of test cases, then n and k, and representing the number of elements in k, the upper bound of the values of ai. Then n and k can be from 1 to 200 raised to the power 5, and length of a and the maximum possible. Okay, it is guaranteed that n is even, and then the next line contains the n integers, where each integer is from 1 to k. It is guaranteed that the sum of n as well as the sum of k does not exceed 2 into 10 raised to the power 5 over all test cases, right? So for each test case, we have to print the answer, which is the minimum number of elements that I need to replace to satisfy the given conditions. I think the first condition is self-explanatory. It says that the numbers should be between 1 and k, which is fine. Let's see what the second condition means. Second condition basically says, let's say for n equals to 4, we'll have I equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what it says is a1, a4, a2, a3. These will be the two pairs, right? So a1 plus a4 should be equal to a2 plus a3. It's what it says. Let's say our n was 6. In that case, a1 plus a2, or no, sorry, not a2, a6 should have been equal to a2 plus a5, and that should have been equal to a3 plus a4 to be equal to some x, right? That's what it says. We have to make all the palindromic pairs sum equal to some value, and we need to find the minimum cost, the minimum number of elements that we need to replace to do that, right? So we can see for the example test case, in this case the values are 1 2 1 2. In this case we see that 1 plus 2 is 3 and 2 plus 1 is 3, so the answer is 0. We need not replace anything. And for the second case, we know that 1 plus 1 is 2 and 2 plus 2 is 4, and our values of ai's can be up to 3, so we can simply replace this first 1 by 3, so that the both of the sums are 4. Parallelly, you can check out what can be the minimum value for the rest of the two test cases. Now I'll be discussing the solution. All right, so you can pause the video and think it for yourself if you want to. Yeah, let's see. For the solution, a possible solution is that what can be done is we can iterate for x. X can be, the minimum value of x can be 2, right? In the case if both ai and its palindromic index are 1 1, and the maximum value possible can be 2k, right? This is going to be the case when when the both of the values are kk, right? So we can iterate for x from 2 to 2k, and for each x we can basically calculate the number of minimum number of replacements that will give us the sum of all palindromic pairs to be x. To do that, one possible way is iterating from 1 I equals to 1 to n by 2, and basically calculating if what is the number of replacements required for that particular pair. For a particular pair ai comma a of n minus I plus 1, the number of replacements will be 0 if the sum is already x. It will be 1 if basically let's see in which case the replacement will be 1. It will be 0 if the sum is already x. So we need to see that is it possible to get the sum as x by replacing only one of the elements out of these ai and a n minus I plus 1. To do that, let's say the minimum of these two values is mn and the maximum of these values is mx, for example, right? Then it will be easier for me to explain in that way, right? Now if I am to change only one value, what can I do is, let's say I change the minimum value. So to change the minimum if I change the maximum value, let's say I change it to 1, so the sum will be mn plus 1. Let's say I change it to 2, it will be mn plus 2, and then so on, it will be keep on increasing. Now let's say I increase this, change this mx value, mn value. In that case, our sum is going to be mx plus 1 to mx plus 2 and up to mx plus k, right? And in this case also the sum is going to be up to mn plus k. Now we know that this mn plus k is for sure going to be greater than or equal to mx, because we know that mx is less than or equals to k and this mn is greater than or equal to 1, so this is going to be greater than or equal to mx. It might be a little unclear what I just said, just rewind and listen it to it again. I hope it will be clear. So what I'm trying to say is, if the value of x is between this range mn plus 1 to mx plus k, then basically it's possible to do it within one replacement. It will be 0 replacement if the sum is already equals to x. It will be 1 replacement if x lies in this range. Else it will be 2 replacements. For the 2 replacements, what we can simply do is just get any two numbers which are whose sum is x, let's say 1 and x minus 1, and give give those numbers as replacements to these two numbers, right? Now if we look at the algorithm we just tried to implement, it will take us big of n by 2 time for each particular value of x, right? So in this case the values of x are of the order k, and the time required for each x, checking for each x, is of order of n, so the time complexity will be n into k, which is simply not permissible, and so we want to do it in some less time. Now to do that, let's try to basically reduce the time from big O of n to big O of log n while checking for the minimum possible number of replacements of for a given x, for some x, right? We saw that if we are to check for a given I, and let's say the minimum of those two numbers is mn and the maximum is mx, our range for x should be mn plus 1 to mx plus k for the answer to be less than or equal to 1, else the answer is 2 for that particular pair, right? Now what I am trying to do here is, you see that mn plus 1 to mx plus k is a continuous range with L value equals to mn plus 1 and R value equals to mx plus k. Now x can be within this range, or it can be towards the left, or it can be towards the right of this range, right? Now if you try and see if you want to find if x lies in this range or not, it actually seemed to me that finding if x isn't in the range is actually simpler. To do that, we just want that either x is less than mn plus 1, or x is greater than mx plus k. If any of these two happens, it means that for that particular pair we require at least two replacements. Not at least, we require exactly two replacements, right? So what I'll do is, when I am at a given x, by binary search I'll try to find how many pairs we have with such that mn plus 1, the minimum out of those 2 plus 1, is greater than x, and how many are there such that the mx plus k value is less than x, and I'll add both of them. I'll add both of the numbers, and those will be the number of pairs for which let's say the number of pairs I get are c, and for those c pairs my cost will be c into 2, right? Now what I'll do is c2, let's say, right? Now let's say I find the number of pairs which will have a zero cost. For the zero cost, what I can do is I can simply count the number of pairs which had their initial sum equal to x, right? And I can store that somewhere, that how many pairs have the sum value equal to x. Let's say for those, the sum the value is going to be the cost is going to be c0 into 0, right? Because the cost value is simply 0, the number of replacements are 0. And for the rest of the pairs, the the number of replacements required are going to be 1. So it is going to be n by 2 minus c2 minus c0 into 1. So the sum of these three is going to be the answer, to be the number of going to be the number of minimum replacements that I need to make the sum of each palindromic pair equal to x, right? To find this value of c2, to find these things, I'll be using binary search in some manner. I'll just be explaining it to you how, right? So now let's move on to how to actually calculate this c2 value, right? Now I know that for c2 value, x should either be less than mn plus 1 or x should be greater than mx plus k, right? For this to happen, let's simplify this equation a little bit. I want my mn value to be basically greater than x minus 1, right? Or I'll not be writing or every time now, or I want my mx value to be less than x minus k, right? Now I'll calculate the number of pairs for both the cases, and I'll simply add them. Note that there are not going to be any repetitions. We'll not be counting any pair twice because those were disjoint. In these cases, the x value is towards the left of the range, and in these cases, the x value is towards the right of the range. So there is not going to be any repetition. There is not going to be overlapping of cases. We can simply add the number of cases in both cases. To do that, I can simply maintain an mx array in which it will contain the maximum values of each pairs, and then I can apply binary search to get the number of numbers which with mx value less than x minus k. In this case also, I can simply I'll be using the lower bounds that are inbuilt in C++. What I can do is, the total number of pairs are going to be n by 2. I'll subtract from it the number of pairs such that mn is less than or equal to x, right? So okay, not exactly less than or equal to x, less than x, right? Because for it to be greater than or equal to greater than x minus 1, I can say it is greater than or equal to x. I'll just subtract those which are less than x, right? So let's see how I have implemented it in the code. I already submitted it just a while ago and it got accepted. So first I'll take the number of test cases as my input, then n and k, then the number of the different elements as input. Then I'll basically make three things. Two are going to be the vectors which are going to contain mx values and mn values for applying the binary search. The third is going to be a map intent containing sum count. It will contain the number of pairs having each sum value, right? So I'll go to each pair. I equals to 0 to n minus n by 2, and this is n minus I minus 1 instead of n minus I plus 1 because I am using 0 based indexing here. It will be n minus I minus 1 in this case. Mn equals to the min of these two values, mx equals to the max of these two values. I'll push mx to mx vals, mn to mn vals, and sum count of mx plus mn plus plus, because we have got one more pair which has this sum value, right? Then I'll sort both of these because I'll be applying binary search. I'll assume my answer to be infinity initially. I'll just keep on taking minimum for every value of x. Now I'm iterating 2 through 2k for trying the value for trying different values of x. Now let's see. I basically need two things: number of mx such that mx is greater than x plus k, right? Is it sorry, mx is less than x plus k, x minus k, again x minus k, there is some mistake. We wanted x to be greater than mx plus k, so we want mx to be less than x plus k, x minus k, right? So to do that, let's change the name of the variable, it's a little misleading. Yeah, so mx less than x minus k. To do that, I'll just say lower bound in the mx values x minus k minus mx values dot become. So this lower bound will basically give me the first number, such that num is greater than or equals to x minus k. So all of the numbers, let's say this is the array, all of the numbers behind it are going to be less than x minus k. So the number of numbers behind it are going to be equal to this value, are going to be equal to this index. Let's say the index is var 0 to I, so we know that the number of numbers from 0 to I minus 1 are I only, right? These are going to be the number of numbers such that mx is less than x minus k. Now the second number of numbers I want to calculate are such that mn value is basically greater than x minus 1, which means I want to calculate the value such that mn is greater than or equal to x. I'll say n by 2 minus mn is basically less than x. So this value represents mn less than x. To do that, I'll just do something similar to this, lower bound of x minus mn values dot begin, right? So I got this value right here. Subtract it from n by 2, you'll get this value, right? mn greater than x minus 1. Now the cos2 value is going to be the sum of both these two. Basically the number of pairs with cost equals to 2 are going to be this, the number of values with cost equal to 0 are going to be this, and the number of values, the remaining, basically the number of pairs with cost value equals to 1 are going to be the total number of pairs, which is n by 2 minus cos 0 minus cos 2, right? And in this case my answer is going to be 2 into cos 2, because these were the number of pairs with cos 2. I'll just multiply them by 2 plus cost 1 into cost 1, and I'll just take answer equals to min of this and answer itself, and then basically just print the answer. The time complexity is going to be big of k log n, because we are iterating k times order of k times, and for each time we are taking log n time, plus big of n, you can say plus big of n log n. So k log n or n log n, whatever you would like to call it. Yeah, so this is the solution. I hope it is clear. If something is still unclear, you can drop down a comment. I'll try to help you out. I'll also be linking down the solution, right? So this was it for this video, guys. Thank you very much. See you guys in the next one.